Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing with YUPO paper and alcohol inks. The color of alcohol inks that I'm using today are Stream, Aquamarine, Indigo, and I'm also using the Silver and Pearl Mixative and of course some alcohol blending solution. So this process is a fun, inky, hot mess, but in the end you get some pretty awesome looking customized cardstock that makes really pretty backgrounds. And so you just keep squeezing and dotting, and you can blow on it. Some people use a straw to blow if you want the ink to kind of go in a certain direction or whatever. I just kind of blew on a little bit to get that area to kind of bloom out and stuff. And you just keep adding and adding and until you get the look that you want. I said it's kind of a hot mess until it's not, and it's just, you know, kind of fun to just play. So that's what I did, and it really didn't take very long at all. Then the alcohol ink dries really quickly. I did at one point help it along with my heat it tool, but you don't have to do that. You can just let it air dry. And another really cool thing, which I have done on the video before, is, you know, you get some areas where, you know, the two colors meet, and so it's thicker there and it takes longer to dry there. So when that area is just a little bit tacky, but like all the other flat surfaces are dry, then you can press foil on there and the foil will stick to those areas where the ink meets and it's thicker and it's just still real tacky. And so then it looks like a really cool, like marble veining through there with foil. It's just really pretty. So this is the first time I have played with my felt pads. And so I decided to put some of the silver around with the felt pad. Didn't like how the streaks looked. I thought, eh. So then I just started pouncing. And so then I really started getting a background that I was really you know, thinking, okay, this is what I was wanting, you know, a really pretty combination of blues and just a mixed background with some, you know, silver and sparkle to it. And then I kind of thought, well, I've lost some of my other colors in there. So in a minute I'm going to drop in, I think it was the aquamarine I tried to drop back in there, and it didn't come through. You didn't really see the aquamarine. And so I pounced it around a little bit, and then I kind of thought I lost, you know, some of the silver sparkle, so I went back and put some more. Oh, I'm still trying to get some of that aquamarine to show through, but I will go back with some more of the silver sparkle and add that back onto my little blending felt pad. These are little felt pads, not the foam like, you know, with your distressed ink. These are felt. And so then I thought I was pretty happy with that. And so here you see me dry it, so I can move on to my next thing. I just dried it a little bit. It really doesn't take long at all for this to dry. I think it was about 10 minutes tops I spent on doing that background. Not long at all. So now I am using the Some Odd Girl Aquarius for this card, and I'm going to back her on this little scallop oval, but my surf blue cardstock was just not the right shade of blue to go with that background, so I'm just going over the edges with some blueprint sketch. Now the Some Odd Girl Aquarius, each month Some Odd Girl will come out with a new zodiac image for that month, and during that month it is free, so you can download this girl for free right now, and I'll have that link down below for you. But these are really cute, and I colored her with some Prismacolor pencils. I didn't show that in the video because I was really wanting to just kind of show the background and what I did, how I put it together and stuff. I've got other videos where I've, you know, used colored pencils and things. On her though, Aquarius is all about water, so on the water droplets and the water that she's splashing in, I did cover that with some glossy accents, so that really stood out. So I thought that was pretty. Okay, so I decided to bring in more of that silver, so I went around the edge of this piece of cardstock with my Simon Says Stamp Clear Sticky Ink, and I coated it in Wow's Cloud 9 embossing powder. It gives it a real shimmery but prismatic kind of sparkle to it. And so I heated underneath the paper until it started to melt, and then I went on top just to kind of keep it from too much of the glitter particles from blowing off. And then I decided it wasn't solid enough, so I went over it again, and then it was totally solid, and I loved how it turned out. And so around the edge of that blue alcohol ink background, it just really gives a really nice sparkle. I thought it turned out really pretty. That Wow embossing powder, if you haven't got some of that, it's a really nice embossing powder to have. I reach for it a lot. Okay, so after I get that good and melted, I will adhere my alcohol ink background to the top of that. And here, this is going to be one of those teaching moments. Do as I say and not as I do. I went around the edge with my Tombow Mono Permanent, which is usually just fine and will stick paper to paper, but paper to embossing powder, not so much. So I went back off camera and went around the edge with my Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive, and that sticks really good. All right, just using my Teflon bone folder to reinforce the score on my card. And I'm just going to use that Tombow to stick my girl down to my scalloped oval. Just getting that centered on there. And now I'm trying to decide, do I want portrait? Do I want landscape? And I decided on the landscape. It didn't seem to crowd everything as much going landscape. So I'm just, that's some ribbon that was on sale at my local craft store. They frequently put this ribbon on for $1 a roll. And so whenever they do that, I just go and pick out, 2, 3, 5, 6 rolls, whatever I find that I like. And so I just use my glass media mat to help me get that lined up. The markings on the media mat. Again, added some Tombow Mono adhesive, and now I'm going to put that onto my card base. And so next, we're going to bring in the girl and kind of see, where I want her on there. And I took out this happy birthday. I was debating on whether to use this or I have a large happy die and then stamp a birthday, but I decided to use this happy birthday die. And again, I'm going to put it on some of that surf blue cardstock, and I wanted to make it a little chunky, stand out. So I'm going to I'm going to die cut it 3 times, and I'm going to die cut it twice out of 80-pound Neenah and then once out of the blue cardstock. So first I'm going to back all my pieces with stick-it adhesive just to make it somewhat easier. These, little fiddly dies are, just that fiddly. And so it does take a little bit to get these things together and get everything glued down and whatnot. But I'm going to run this through my little Sizzix Sidekick. I love this little thing. It's so handy to have on your desk, and so it's great for filming. But now I just use my big Gemini die cutter and this little Sizzix Sidekick, and that's how I do all my die cutting now. So just run that through all 3 times and then start poking out the insides. I had a little bit of trouble with this piece because I put the stick-it adhesive on both sides. I don't know why. You only need it on one side. I don't know why I was thinking I needed it on both sides of one of the pieces, but you don't. And so that extra of that stick-it adhesive on the back side gave me a little bit of issue for for it to go through. So this next one that only has to stick it on one side went much, much easier. So first I just go through and I just poke out all the little inside pieces, and then I just carefully peel it out and peeled off the backing paper, which again, these little bitty things can be a little fiddly. And then with that one that I poked out all the insides, I'm going to just line this one up directly on top of this, that other one, with it still in its matrix. And I found this works really well for keeping things in shape. So this one, I'm just trying to peel it out again, poking out the little centers. It was a little easier on the colored cardstock to realize where it had peeled the liner off the back of the stick-it and where it hadn't. On the white, it was really hard to tell because it all looked the same. So again, I'll just line that up over the top of the other ones there. That little piece stuck in there. So this project was actually my Some Odd Girl Friday post. I post on the Facebook community for Some Odd Girl every Friday, and then once a month I do a blog post for Some Odd Girl on Tuesdays. So this past Tuesday was my first blog post, and so I'm really having fun using all these Some Odd Girl images. They're a lot of fun to color. They always have a lot of fun hair areas to color, and you know, of course, their big eyes are just so cute. But I really like coloring hair, and so these images are really great for that. All right, so just filling up with this again. I said these little die cuts are a struggle, but it looked really good. So it was worth it in the end. But I'll get it on here eventually. So this week, I think my project is going to be a little girl using a paintbrush. So if you have a crafty person in your life, it might be a cute image. So I'm not sure if I will make a video out of it, but I have been putting all my Some Odd Girl projects on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will see them all there. It just depends on how my week's going, if I have time to do a video too, because it can take a lot sometimes to get the project done, and then the video and the editing and you know, all the links to the supplies. It's really a very long process. So I broke out my bow easy here, trying to make a bow, and I didn't get my tails turned around right. You want to make sure you got your tails facing the right direction before you take it off your bow easy. It makes it a lot easier to make sure your bow looks right while it's still on the bow easy than after you take it off, because it then has a tendency to loosen up if you're messing with it too much after you take it off. And then I mess with these tails. Bows are a nemesis of mine. I really kind of struggle with making bows look good, but every once in a while I'll put a bow on a project, and then I realize why I don't put bows on projects a lot. But thanks to glue dots and fiddling around with this, I finally got it to look good. So I will be back soon with a project. I hope to have time to do some more projects this week, but I got to take Ethel for her last vet appointment, and then finally she can run around outside. And I got several things scheduled to do over at the ranch this week. So it's the rows have been cut in for the grapevines, and we just got some things going over there to get ready for the grapevines that come in late March to be planted. So a lot of things happening over the ranch. I do have a separate Facebook website for the ranch if you're interested in following that along. It's called Rossini Vineyards over on Facebook. And also on Facebook, I do have my Creations by Carol R, which also will have some extra things besides what I do videos on. So that's it for today, and we will see you soon in the next one.